You're listening to Jamie's Local Love, an Arizona's Family Originals podcast.
Hi, everyone. I'm your host, Jaime Cerreta, right here at Arizona's Family. I'm a local news anchor. I've been working here for 10 years. And the last 8 years, I've done a segment called Jamie's Local Love. In these segments, we go around town on Good Morning Arizona and feature locally owned businesses. We talk to the people about their passion for their product and how they're opening the doors to customers, hoping that they fall in love with whatever that product is, the way they love that product. And I just think it's so cool what local businesses do. They make cities and communities unique and interesting. They are the builders of our community, and they employ people as well. So as a native Phoenician, I always had a heart for local. And one of the reasons is because as a little girl, I grew up watching two people work very, very hard. Long days, endless hours, integrity, grit, and grace. May I introduce you to Jim and Kathy Cerreta, my parents. Hello, you two. Hi, my first podcast. Thanks for being here.
Our pleasure. Thank you for inviting us. We're so happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you here. So 55 years, the Cerreta Candy Company is celebrating Halloween of this year. So our family is big. We've worked at the candy factory for so many years there. Dad, tell me how the Cerretas got from Ohio to Glendale, Arizona, doing candy.
Awesome. You know, it's a great, fun story. My grandfather, your great-great-grandfather, Ben Hagee, started in the candy business in 1923 in Canton, Ohio. And he loved candy. And he enjoyed making candy for, many, many years. And when my dad married my mom back in 1948 or 47. He was invited into the Ben Hagee's Candy and became a candy maker. And along the way, Ben Hagee had a sister, and her sister was Mary. And she, through her life in the early 1940s, married into the Coyle family. And they started Mary Coyle Ice Cream back in Ohio. Yeah. So that's how those two names come together, even back in Ohio.
So Mary Coyle, Ben Hagee.
Yep.
Phoenicians will know Mary Coyle.
Yep.
So the Cerretas and the Coyles are related.
Yep.
And then how did we get to Arizona, though?
Well, there was an opportunity to open up a candy factory here in Arizona, and my dad and mom took the opportunity to come out here and started making candy and be able to sell the candy through the Mary Coyle stores, which there was 3 of them in the valley in 1968 when we came out.
So in 68 you came out. Mom, you moved around growing up a lot.
I did.
So how did you two meet?
So they moved out in 1968 in the central. Their family of 10, 2 parents and 8 children, moved into a central corridor neighborhood in 1968, the summer of. And that early January of 1969, my dad, who was an engineer with General Electric, was transferred to Phoenix, Arizona. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, they bought the house next door to the Cerreta family. And I was a family of 8 with 6 children, and my mom and dad, and I'm the only female, the oldest. And I met your dad through that
next door
association.
The girl next door.
I am the girl next door.
We
dated and then married, and the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Yes.
And as a little girl, I feel like, I was always Cerreta Candy adjacent. We'd go in, we'd check on machinery on the weekends. But I remember spending a lot of time at the ice cream parlor after school. So tell me about the ice cream parlor.
Well, how that came about was it was the early stages of Cerreta Candy being, developed. Mm-hmm. And as Jim had said, the Coyle families were relatives, and they had come out here earlier. I believe they came out in the 50s where they opened Mary Coyle Ice Cream. Mm-hmm. And there was an opportunity where there was a store that was needing some help. And so Jimmy and I were in a position where we could step in and run that store for about 10 years
Yeah,
or so.
yeah, about
yes.
10 years.
So that's, of course, when you guys were little. Well, you
How
weren't
old
even
were
born
we?
yet.
Oh.
You weren't even born yet when we bought that store, and then that's why you have those childhood memories, because as you were born and little, I would take you there because I could kind of keep you in a little playpen or whatever and help Jim run the store. So we met a lot of people that came in because of you children. You know,
What?
they
Stop
came
it.
in, they wanted to see the girls, and I have a lot of visual memories of you and your sister up on the counter with ice cream cones, taller than you.
Yes.
So we had that business for about 10 years, and it was because of the connection with the Coyle family and the Cerreta family being related.
I remember bragging to the kids at school that, I had an ice cream cone with 10 scoops. They didn't believe me. And then, Pops, you revealed that the scoops, what were those scoops, Daddy?
Well, they were a normal ice cream scoop is probably as big as a baseball. And so for Jamie needing to have 10 scoops and having a cone that would be this tall, we used just a little bit smaller scooper. So we were able to get 10 scoops on top, all
Almost
the
like a golf
flavors.
ball, right? It's like a melon ball?
Well, yeah, a little bit
Right,
more
melon
like a
ball.
melon size.
Yeah.
So it became a little bit easier to handle.
And when we had the Mary Coyle ice cream, we did a lot of tours. So we have longtime neighbors that still speak of the tours or the scout groups that they brought in or the preschool kids that they brought in, to see the ice cream. And, of course, when you're little, the big cans that they made the ice cream, the milk and everything was probably, 3.5 feet,
It was
4 feet
3.5
tall.
foot, yeah.
So when they come in as adults and said, we used to come in here when we were kids, they look at the cans and go, how come the cans are so small?
Yeah.
Well, when they were that tall, the cans were big, and they were looking over top to see the cream. So a lot of fond memories. Yeah.
I remember the Captain Kangaroo film strip. There was a Captain Kangaroo show that we would show people on a tour about how milk was acquired from the cow or whatever the case was. And I remember the film strip flapping and then you guys saying, okay, well, now we're going to go back and show you how we make the ice cream here.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden you were an ice cream maker, Mama.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amongst many things.
Amongst many things. So multi-talented.
And that place was by where Beckett's Table.
The strip plaza. And the ice cream store, and then there was a pizza place next door. And those two spaces became Beckett's Table over time as the ice cream store moved out, and I think it was Tommy's Pizza or something.
Yeah, it was Tommy's.
Relocated or whatever. And then at that time, Justin Beckett was looking for a space, and both of those spaces became his beautiful restaurant that exists now today. Yes.
We went and saw him.
Oh,
What did he tell us?
We went and saw him, and he said that when they were doing the reconstruction, they saw, I don't know, must have been one of the overhead things where it was painted Mary Coyle ice cream. And then, of course, they, changed
Put up
it.
Beckett's Table.
They put it up Beckett's Table, yes,
of course.
exactly.
But it was
they
cool.
knew it was the ice cream store, when they were going through it. Yeah. So, so it lives on.
Yes, it does. It does. Good food there, no matter what.
Very good
no matter
food
what.
there. Yes, excellent.
All right, Pops. Everyone loves a Frenchman. But as far as the cousins go, I think there's kind of like a unofficial poll that we love the peanut butter pizzazz.
I don't blame you.
So tell me about the peanut butter pizzazz, because it really comes from scratch and you guys get the peanuts in. Tell me about how it all goes.
Yep. Well, the peanuts are Spanish peanuts, Texan, and they're brought in raw, fresh as a daisy. And then when we're ready, we just roast the peanuts, we salt them, and then we mill them, which turns it into like a peanut butter type consistency. And I know that it's one of your favorites, and I know a bunch of your cousins actually love that piece of candy. By chance, would you believe I brought a box?
Oh, of course. Well, you knew not to come see me without. You better have some, Pops. Open them up, yes, please.
Okay, I'll open them up.
No.
If you insist.
If I insist. Mama, you like peanut butter pizzazz every now and again, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't Molly like them too?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're addictive.
Yes, they are. They are addictive.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, I'll put it right here. Let's see here. Just happen to have a little knife to
Duck knife.
open
Family
this
tradition,
up.
just in case anyone's wondering, we always have a duck knife.
Oh,
yeah.
boy. Oh, boy.
right. I'm going to grab center square. Oh,
Oh,
Well,
good.
Tommy, you like peanut butter?
Oh, yeah.
All right. All right, technician Tommy.
Pass them around.
Thank you.
You got it. That's delicious. With the salt on top, and I tell people, pro tip, turn it over so the salt hits the tongue first. I love it. It's a delicious piece of candy, as you would say to Pops.
Yes, it is absolutely delicious.
So many people in the community have such affectionate feelings for the candy company. They grew up, they went to field trips. Grandma always had the green mints. I feel like it's just really special. It's really special that our family has been able to make that name and provide those experiences. I mean, who doesn't love seeing a chocolate pour from the pipes to the ceiling? So what does it feel like from your point of view, Dad, after 55 years and just having it be so sweet for so long?
Well, thank you very much, everybody, for supporting Cerreta Candy and the business for so many years. One of the beautiful parts about it, it's a business, and everybody knows what it's like to run a business, from overhead to our wonderful employees to the machineries involved. But the beautiful thing about our business is the nature of the beast. At the end of it, the product is a happy time. People walk into the candy factory, and you have an instant smile on your face. You're just happy to be there. The aroma of the building when you walk in is just delicious. And sometimes when we're cooking, like the peanut brittles or something,
I can smell it now.
Yes.
It's good stuff.
the aroma waffles
The
down
Greek
through
butter
Glendale,
smell.
and it just the neighborhood smells beautiful. But the nature of our business is just happy.
Yeah.
So it's so that transcends into our whole business operation with all of our people, and we have many people that have been with us for 30
Long
30
time.
some odd years.
Yes.
So it's
Grateful
it's
for that.
very
Yes.
grateful for
Loyal.
everybody
Yeah. Loyal
in
employees.
Phoenix and all of the Valley and Arizona. It's been a beautiful run, and hopefully we can make people happy and continue on.
In my local love segments, they're 3 minutes long. They're very quick. So in this podcast, I hope to explore the idea of the jump. So what it took for someone to make that side hustle or that side gig into a full-time job for them. Any advice to someone who wants to make that jump into being a full-time business owner for themselves? Either one of you?
Well, I sort of did that when I went into real estate. I never really officially worked at Cerreta Candy. I was like a full-time mom for a period of time.
Thank you, Mommy.
And then you're welcome. And then we had I was involved with the ice cream business.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where you girls were going into middle school and high school, and Dad and I have always done different projects with homes and flipping and that type of thing. Well, actually rebuilding and selling.
Yeah.
We did little things on the side. It was just an interest of ours, and so we used to employ realtors, and then I thought, hey, I could probably do that. So I did, and it was scary. I started with a lovely couple that I was like an assistant to them, and they were already very successful and very lovely people. They taught me a lot, and eventually I went out on my own, and it was pretty much a one-man band.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work. It's a lot of consistency and passion, and but I loved it. I think the part I loved most was the interaction with the people, and so I guess that was making a jump because I sort of
Tried something new.
tried something new. Yes,
Yeah.
and you're an independent contractor, so you're your own boss, and you have to make things happen or they don't happen. And fortunately, I had many great clients that I still am friends with, even though I no longer do that. And it was a really wonderful time in my life. So I'm grateful for that experience. So I think if you love something And even if it's a little slight, there's so many, with your local loves, there's so many of these people that started in their garage or whatever, and they're full on successful businesses.
Mm-hmm. Yep. In a couple of years, even.
Exactly.
4 to 6 years, you see major growth.
Yes.
Pops, anything? Any advice to someone?
Well, just follow your passion. If you have the opportunities, a lot of times doors open, and you just run through it, and it's a leap of faith, and then now it's a matter of just being able to seize that, whether or not you have all the resources to actually do it, but see what the resources may be if it looks a little bit difficult. Yeah. But the important thing is if you can do it, give it a run, because having the love and the passion within you to do that business, whatever it may be, the people will sense it. They'll feel it, and they'll love you for that, and they'll love that business that you're working at.
That's contagious.
Yeah.
That passion is contagious.
Yeah. You never knew you felt this way about, a cookie until you hear about the backstory and what it took and all the different ingredients and how they sourced them. So it is really a love story, I think. Yes. The local love is very much a love story.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you guys for being on my podcast.
Oh, Jamie,
You're
thank
welcome.
you for having us.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely delightful.
Anything else you want the people to know?
You know what? Thank you, Phoenix. Thank you, Arizona.
Yeah.
We love you guys. We love doing what we do. I'm so glad everybody loves what we're doing. And let's carry on. Have a good time.
And you guys are, I put quotes, fully retired.
Yes.
Ish.
Yes.
Ish, but always very busy.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
Learning, growing.
Yes.
Mom's got her fiber arts.
Yes.
Dad does some significant duck carving.
Yes.
And always learning and growing and inspiring us all.
And it gives us time to play with our family.
Yes.
We love that.
And costume building.
Oh, yes.
For my nephew.
Designing, you name it. Yes.
You name it, it's happening.
It's happening.
All right, well, let's do a Frenchman toast.
Oh, great
As
idea.
we sign off
Great
on our
idea.
very first
Great idea.
podcast. Jim and Kathy Cerreta, my parents, local legends.
Here.
Love you guys.
They're delicious. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jamie's Local Love, an Arizona's Family Originals podcast.